We're talking about slap tears, specifically in throwing athletes. We have a college athlete here joined by Brett. Brett is a dual athlete, dual player there in college. He plays infield as well as pitches, and we're working on getting him back to pitching. He was sent over by one of the orthopedic surgeons we work with quite a bit, and he's actually got a torn labrum here. So slap tear, superior labral, anterior to posterior tear. We'll show you what that looks like kind of on the image and try to break that down for you guys a little bit. But we're often told that if we have a slap tear, we need surgery. And a lot of the evidence nowadays is showing if we do things right from a conservative perspective, if we do rehab right, we actually do the correct exercises, we regain full passive range of motion, and then if we add in specific activity to actually alter and improve the way that an athlete sequences their throw, we can be very effective with conservative treatment and get athletes throwing back as good or sometimes even better than they did prior to their injury. So if you've heard, hey, you got a slap tear, you have to stop throwing, you have to get surgery, not necessarily the case, and a lot of times not necessarily the best option. So Brett was telling me he was an 8 out of 10 pain throwing before. What are you at today throwing?
Right now I'm a 1.
A 1 out of 10, and we're partway through the process. We're still working on getting him some more rotation. We're still getting a little stronger. We're still working on positioning of his humerus there, his upper arm bone, as he goes through his throw. So go ahead and just give me 1 or 2 more. And he's going to throw in a unique manner that's specific to his body style and that's specific now to his anatomy and what's going on in his shoulder. So we got to make sure we're getting his arm in the right place and working on the right things here. But this is a good example of the fact that if you have a slap tear, that does not necessarily mean you have surgery. It does not mean that you can't play baseball anymore, or that the end of your career is this slap tear, as we once called it, pitcher's death. I had a slap tear. I've gone through it. I was able to get back to throwing harder than, or as hard as I did prior to my injury with no arm pain, and I was able to get back to throwing again. So I did that without a surgery. I had surgeons that wanted to put 4 anchors in my labrum, but I was able to get back there without a surgery. And I suggest to everybody, find a approach that you're going to be able to work with, be successful with, and find people that actually know how to treat slap tears and what you need to do. Let's go ahead and look at the MRI. I want to show you what that slap tear looks like here for Brett. I'm here with Brett, and we're actually looking at his MRI here. And we're looking at a transverse fat suppressed protendons. And as we go through, what we're looking for on the labrum, it's the cartilaginous disc there that goes around the shoulder, and it kind of blends right in with the bone and it creates part of the socket. So it's this structure around here. You know, this is the actual bony surface, and then on the outer parts at this view, we're actually looking at the labrum. So we're actually looking top down, like if you cut your shoulder right in half. This is the labrum in the front and the back. Now when we look at the front here, you see this white dot there inside. That's part of our tear there, and you can actually see on the back there's some tearing coming through here. So when we talk about a slap tear, it's a superior, which means the top part, anterior to posterior tear. So it's actually the front to the back. This is the front part, and here's the back. And as we go through, you can continue to see where there's actually a tear down into this from the joint surface. Here's the joint surface into the labrum. See that, Brett? Mm-hmm. And it's torn. You know, there's a decent sized tear here. You can see that the back part doesn't look quite as healthy here. There's some tearing there into the back part, and that's why it's a slap tear. There's some tearing on the front and the back. And this is just that view from kind of cutting that shoulder in half, top down. We can see it here from another view in a second. We can also see the biceps tendon up here, and people think they often have biceps tendonitis. Remember, we've said it before, biceps tendonitis does not occur independent of other variables very often at all. So you can see a little bit of that white circle there around the tendon. It's a little bit inflamed. And And we should expect to see some white there around that to an extent, because there is a sheath there, but he's likely got a little bit of biceps tendonitis, but nothing major. Real problem here is actually looking at what's kind of going on there. You can also notice, and I haven't even seen your report, but we can also notice some edema here in the actual bone itself. So there's like a bone bruise there. That's a product of a low elbow in the throw. We made a video and we've already posted that. So internal impingement in overhead throwing athlete. And he had a low elbow. We're still working on getting the elbow up. I told him right before the video, get your elbow up when you throw. So let's go back and look at another image here. Okay, looking at another proton dense, fat suppressed image here. It's just the type of MRI. This is a coronal image. You'll see the tearing here. So now you're looking at the body as if you cut it right from the front to back. So this is actually the looking at it, say, from the front, I guess. And we're looking at the rotator cuff on the top. Here's the top of the shoulder, the front of the ball in the socket, and the arm hanging down there. And what we see here is this is the labrum at the top aspect, superior. So now we can see where the tear is located. And what we should see is a nice dark grayish, blackish triangle here where this comes out. And you see the white going into that triangle there. That white going into the triangle is actually the tearing there. You can see it almost looks like a cut into that triangle with the white. That's your tear there. So diagnostic imaging to show that Brett has labral tearing. Able to throw here with minor discomfort, 1 out of 10 discomfort, and we're only partway through the process. So we'll try to keep you guys updated on how he's doing and what we're actually doing with him. But you can see that tear there, and we'll go into, still see it. So decent tear of the rotator cuff, but in the end, the most important things are getting him to throw the right way, getting his shoulder to articulate and move the way it needs to move, and then getting him strong where he needs to be strong to get him back to throwing. So there's a lot we can do to get athletes like Brett here back on the field, back throwing, just like me when I tore my labrum, back on the field, able to throw hard again. So if you're looking for an example of someone who's throw with a slap tear without problems, I'm one, and we're looking to get Brett there as another example for you guys, and we'll keep you guys updated. We're already down from an 8 to a 1 on a scale out of 10 for pain, and he's up there throwing fairly hard again. So we'll keep you guys updated. Make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Keep the faith. If you are someone that has a slap tear, it's not the end. You're not a statistic. You're not a number. We'll see you guys in the next video.